Guys, this is Spell from Speedwapp and you are most welcome to today's tutorial. So for today, I'm going to show you how to use all the shortcuts when it comes to Speedwapp to speed up your web creation process. So let's get started. Now the first thing we are going to start with for today is how to apply the copy shortcut. So for you to apply the copy shortcut, first of all, you have to make sure that you select the element you want to copy. So I want to select this entire paragraph I have here. So I select it by clicking on it. Make sure that the paragraph is selected or the element is selected. Now the next step you take is you press on your keyboard. Okay, you just press the control keypad. Now, if you're using a MacBook, you're not supposed to press control, but you're supposed to press command on your keyboard. If you're using Windows, it's control. So let's press control or command on our keyboard. And do not take your finger off the control button. So control, then press C. So control C. So control C. And it copies the element for you, or it copies my text for me. Now the next thing we are going to do is how to paste it. Now we've copied the element. Now how do you paste the element? That brings us to number 2. So control C for copy, then control V or command V for paste. So let's try control V or command V and let's see whether our element is going to be pasted. So control or command V. And as you can see, the element is being pasted for us. Okay, now let's move on to the third shortcut. The third shortcut is how to cut an element. So just make sure that the element is selected, and on your keyboard again, press on Control or Command X. Okay, Control or Command X. Now my element has been cut off, or my element has been removed from the page. That is how to cut an element. Now let's quickly move on to the fourth thing, which is how to reset a style. Now for you to reset a style, all you have to do is to click on the element, make sure it's selected, then Control R. Okay, for you to reset an element is Control R. So let's try Control R and let's see what happens to our element. So Control R. Now this sends me back to the originality of my element. It sends me back to the original nature of my element. That is how to reset a style. Shortcut number 5 is how to undo a last action. So for you to undo a last action, it is Control Z or Command Z. So make sure your element is selected, then Control or Command Z. Okay, that is how to undo a last action. Now shortcut number 6 is how to apply the redo shortcut formula. Okay, so for you to apply redo shortcut, is simply press on your keyboard Control or Command Y. Okay, so when you press Control or Command Y, as you can see, it has sent me back to the previous changes I made. So redo simply means that it just sends you back, or it restores the previous action that was previously undone using undo. Okay, now before we do shortcut number 7, let me just quickly change my background. Okay, and I want to change my background to yellow. So just change the background to yellow. Okay. All right, now shortcut number 7 is how to duplicate an element. So for you to duplicate an element, click on the or select the element. Then first of all, press Control. Then the next thing you are going to press is D. So Control or Command D. Okay, to duplicate your element. So you can duplicate multiple times, as many as you want to duplicate your element. And that is how to duplicate an element. Now the last but one shortcut we are going to do for today is how to save our document or our website or whatever thing we are creating, your blog, whatever you've done so far. How do you save it? So how to save is just Control S, okay, or Command S. Then you save. Now let me quickly switch to a different website with the same Speedwapp website to see, or to give you a clearer understanding of how the save works. So when I click Control S, just pay attention to the screen and see what happens to the screen. All right, so Control S, and as you can see, it quickly saves for me, or it just gives me something quick. Okay, let's do that again and let's see what happens to the screen. Okay, so you can see what is happening to the screen right here. So Control S or Command S. and that is how your website is being saved, the document is being saved, or whatever you're working on is being saved. Now, the last thing we are going to do today, which will bring us to the end of today's tutorial, is how to deselect an element. Okay, if you select an entire element, how would you deselect it? Okay, so now I'm going to select this element. Okay, now as you can see, the red line is showing at the borders, which is giving me an indication that this element has been selected. So if I want to deselect it, all I have to do is to press on the escape key on my keyboard. So escape is capital E, then small s, then C. Okay, it's on my keyboard, right? It is on the upper left, the very upper left on your keyboard. So just press on the escape key, and as you can see, the element has been deselected. Now if I select this element as well, okay, if I select the second element, okay, it's been selected. Now escape, and it deselects the element. Okay, if I do same for this, okay, it has been selected. So escape, and it deselects the element. All right, people. Now that brings us to the end of today's tutorial. I know it was very, very educative, and you've been able to pick up all the shortcuts when it comes to Speedwapp. Okay, and if you stayed with me from the beginning to the end, I am super, super, super grateful. But if you have not subscribed to the Speedwapp channel, please do subscribe to the channel. So anytime we drop something new, or anytime we drop in a new tutorial, you'll get the notification to come on and learn something new or something very inspirational.